Okay, question number 3. This question says, I love your marriage. I wish to ask, what's your advice on a young man who is preparing to enter a serious relationship and how to know that a particular lady is his soulmate just as you found yours? Uh, okay. These kind of things are quite difficult. They're difficult because for me, these things they happen just by chance or by the providence of God. Why do I say that? When it comes to finding someone who is a soulmate, you don't just see someone and you say, "Oh yeah, it's soulmate," because a lot of things attract you, right? But something else keeps you, right? You might be attracted to a lady because of her beauty, because of her looks, her figure, so many things about her personality, right? Or maybe even their academic prowess. And that draws you to them. But then what keeps you is what further determines if the lady is going to be your soulmate in the very end. For me, I had certain expectations, if I put it that way, or certain requirements as to whoever I get into a relationship with, what those expectations are, and how those expectations will be met. And then at the end of the day, of course, it turned out that the person is my soulmate, my wife, because I got married to her. You get the gist. And for me, the expectations was that, or the expectation is, I should be able to communicate with the person freely without any restriction, right? And the person should also be able to communicate with me. So communication was my primary requirement. Every other thing was a add-on. So by primary requirement, I mean that she might have, she might not. We're speaking about my spouse now, so I'm picking my words more carefully because of the future of this video or what will happen after this video. Yeah. So it's more of my spouse might not live up to certain standards or certain expectations, that I might desire or want. But then those are inconsequential compared to this primary expectation or standard I have put forward, which is if we can communicate, right? If we can speak about our differences, we argue about stuff. I tell you what I want, I tell you my needs, and you can tell me yours. You can tell me when you are displeased, and I can see that part of the relationship is met. Then to hell with everything, right? Like everything we can always work around it, right? Because for me, I feel that if you can't communicate with someone, right, and you're like, oh, the criteria for someone to be my soulmate is that she must look as heavenly as Angel Gabriel from the sky, right? And then beauty was your standard, so what you used to determine who a soulmate would be for you. And then you entertain the beauty, but then you cannot communicate, right? This person doesn't talk. This person just hides all their emotions. You start reading. Oh God. I hope I got this one. No, I can't pause. It's only stop. That is here. I will just continue. I will try to. I'll cut that part.
You're only communicating. Oh my God! I see. You got to work cut in here to get. Honestly, you see that thing that you told them that you don't know what will happen. Yes. You honestly don't know. Hey.
Can I continue my video, please? Sorry, I broke character previously. I'm back in character now. So, even if the person has an immaculate beauty, spotless from her, but then, you cannot communicate. I feel for me, it's not relevant, right? It's not useful because at the end of the day, if I see a fine face that I cannot speak to, a fine face that I do not know what the intent of the art is, the fine face can shut me down with a pillow in the night, or sprinkle some interesting things in my food, if we have some disagreements that cannot be verbally expressed. So I think that was what was necessary for me, and it was the blessing of God Almighty that when I met my wife, right, she reflected most, if not all, of these requirements. I won't call them requirements. It's just something that probably I like. I like the idea that I should be able to speak to a lady, and a lady should be able to speak to me, and we can have that communication without any hindrance. And my wife, was an embodiment of all of these things, and I appreciate it, and I love that fact about her. And I don't know if the same criteria will apply to you. You could also find something else that would be your all in all, your absolute, that okay, this part of the requirements for me are paramount, right? If these parts are met, everything, we can always work without them. So I think that answers it for me. So I'll go to the next question now.